So, good evening. I was actually trying to record videos yesterday, but I got hungry. And I was trying to like record while I was eating. I mean, not eating, cooking. And like, I wasn't making any sense. So, I just erased that shit. But anyway, today I'm going to talk about the root chakra and the root chakra in relation to self esteem. Yeah, that's what I'll call it. And this might turn into a series because as I was working with my mentor, so many different levels of the root chakra came up. And so, just a quick briefing, there were some exercises that she did with me, and then we were also reading the four agreements. And so, um, the root chakra is your first chakra. It's at the base of your spine, or with like your tailbone. And it really has everything to do with um, your beliefs, the way you see yourself, your morals, um, your culture, the way you think, the way you see your world, your perspective. That's the word. Your perspective. What else defines it? Yeah, society. Yeah, I guess so. Your culture, your society. Sometimes your race, even. All of those can affect the root chakra, the way you see yourself, and when it gets out of balance, obviously you're not serving yourself because the first chakra is the most important. And as I've done, if you follow my channel, so much spiritual work, and a lot of it I don't even publicize. Like I record videos a lot and don't post them because it's been a long ass journey. I actually been recording videos. I just thought about that. I've been recording videos since like 2015 that I did not post. Interesting. But a lot of it I just go back and see, like watch them and see how far I've come. But anyway, that's not important. So, in diving into the way I see myself and what I actually went out of life, I had to think about my self esteem. What do you find? What do you think you're worth? What do you, how do you see yourself? And what happened in your childhood? Because it's the root, it is about your childhood, it is about the way you're raised. Um, what happened in those early years of your life that caused you to believe a certain thing about yourself today as an adult? Um, so, I gotta sneeze. Yo, why was my sneeze nice and cute and little? Usually my sneeze is just loud and high pitched. um, Maybe because I was just seasoning food, so it's not that bad this time. But anyway, um, so in relation to self-esteem, for me personally, I'm gonna tell y'all I guess my side, who else side I'm gonna tell, but I feel like it's important to share just because I'm not the only one. Like as I was doing this, I felt like a bajillion slaps in the face. Like this isn't just me. This is like women. This is women going through through this thing, and it felt like even more slaps in the face because I was like, damn, this is black people. This is what's holding us back. We don't realize. I mean, you know that your childhood sucks, and you know that you know you think that you're poor, or you know that you think that you're less than, but you don't understand how much is holding you back and how it doesn't belong to you. And so one of the exercises inside of well, it wasn't that we did, it wasn't actually an exercise, it was part of the book. One of the four agreements, this book is called The Four Agreements, it's written by Don Miguel Ruiz. um, One of the agreements is don't take anything personal. And throughout our childhood, yes, we're children, so you don't have the ability to say, oh, my parents are wrong, or my family's wrong, or my best friend is wrong, or my neighbor's wrong, or whoever the hell is wrong. You don't have the ability to say people are wrong most of the time. You lack judgment. Um, you lack experience, so you lack judgment, or hindsight, I guess that's what it is. Whatever the word is. And so we develop these beliefs about ourselves, And those beliefs shape our personality. It shapes us as, you know, adults. It shapes us as adults. It changes the way that we are originally. And so, um, I said it before, like I am naturally quiet. I am naturally an introvert. I'm not, it's not, um, I like being by myself. That's just how I am. However, being shy is not me. I wasn't always a shy kid. I became a shy kid because my mother was the type of person where she basically didn't let me speak. If I had something to tell her, something that happened, she would just, get out of my face, get out of my face with that. What do you want now? Like all of this, nasty type attitude all the time. So it got to the point that no matter what it was, either I handled it on myself or I suffered in silence. And, geez, like most of my life, except this one time, and this is important because this is in regards to self-esteem, but so is the other one. If you don't feel like your voice is valuable, if your parents don't treat you as if you can speak, then you grow up thinking that nobody wants to hear you speak. You grow up thinking that your opinion or whatever happened to you isn't important enough to be paid attention to, and so you stop defending yourself with words. You stop speaking up for yourself. You stop putting your foot down because nobody's listening to what you're saying. And that's what I learned to do as an adult, was to be stepped on, because my mother didn't ever let me speak. And if I did speak, most always got a whooping or got in trouble or got punished or grounded or something that anybody could have made up about me. Like I used to be really, really close with one of my aunts, and when I got older, she just got weird. Like she just started making up stuff and telling my mom that I had like boyfriends and crushes on people, and that I was wearing makeup when I went to school. I didn't even have any makeup. Like she was just saying stupid stuff. And my mom started believing her and grounding me and punishing me, and you can't do this and you can't go there. And it was all lies. All lies. And so I knew that about my mom from younger on, but it just surprised me that my aunt was like telling lies like that and getting me in trouble and then laughing about it later. Like it really hurt my feelings, and it really made me even further like not have a trusting relationship with my mom. And as I said in another um, video, that I was sexually abused by a woman, and that already like really fucked up my trust with women to begin with. And then I felt like, me and my aunt were really close. Um, and all of a sudden that was taken away from me. Actually, the only woman that I'm still close with in my life is my grandma. um, Real talk. Everybody turns out to be what you don't think they are. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm not judging. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. The point is, I didn't feel like my opinion was valid. I didn't feel like my experiences were valid. I literally thought that I was here to suffer. That's another place where religion comes in. And my mom used to always throw these scriptures out, like children obey your parents and stuff like that. And so I oftentimes just shut up and suffered in silence. Didn't matter what it was. One of the things that I think impacted me in a huge, huge way was I'm trying to put things in order in my mind. Because here I was, this young child that was always being told to shut up and get somewhere and get out of the way. And then, as far as self-image goes, the most embarrassing goddamn thing happened to me in my life ever. Like, ever, ever, ever. I never even told nobody. It's not even funny. It's funny, but it's not funny. If my cousin hadn't been there, it would have totally, completely been unfunny. But my cousin is like a loudmouth, and she never shuts up. She's like a little chatterbox, like we used to call her Chatty Cathy, even though that wasn't even in her generation. But she just like never shut up. It was my mom and my grandmom and my two sisters and my cousin. And we were going in Walmart, and my mom was like, take them to the bathroom. Y'all can go in the toy section. I don't want to have to come looking for you. Don't stay over there too long. Meet me back over here. I said, okay. So I took them to the bathroom, and I'm waiting there in the outside with my cousin. And she's blah, 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 blah. And there's a man standing there by the bathroom, waiting outside the bathrooms too. And I ain't think nothing about it. I'm just waiting on my sisters and gonna do what my mom said, take them to the toy section. So they come out the bathroom and we start walking. And the man, my cousin's like, Kia, he's staring at your butt. And I was like, Brittany, shut up. Just shut up. Like, just come on and be quiet. And the man goes and cuts my sisters off and weaves around my cousin because they're following me, like, in a line. He cuts her off and weaves behind my cousin to get behind me to stare at my ass. And um I'm 12 years old, a little girl. I'm 12 years old. I just got my period. I just turned 12. Got my period in like May of that same year, and my birthday's in June. Turned 12. Like, I'm a little girl. You get it. And so I didn't feel comfortable, and we just kept walking to the toy section. Actually, we walked the long way around to the toy section because I was hoping to just lose him. And we get over there to the toy section, and then like a few minutes later, there he is again. And so my cousin was like, "Oh my God, there's that creepy man again," all loud, like really loud. And I was like, "Let's just go. Let's go find my mom." And so we went to my mom, and my cousin was like, "Oh my God, Aunt Michelle, this creepy man was following us around the store. We thought we were gonna die." Like, she's so dramatic and always like had this crazy way of telling the story. And I was just like, "Okay, Brittany, like, okay." And my mom was like, what are you talking about?" And we were like, "Well," I was like, "Well, I guess we lost him." And my mom was like, "Whatever, we got our stuff, let's go." And we went and we got in the line. And so we're standing in line, and lo and behold, this mofo is like standing. You know how like in Walmart there's like the lines to check out with all of them damn registers that don't nobody be working at. And the big chunk space that they have in between, and then there's like the clothes section behind it usually. He's standing at like the tip of the clothes section, just standing there staring, and all this, extraness. And my cousin was like, "Oh my God, there he is." She said it so loud, like other people in the line turn around, like don't even know, they don't even know what's going on. And she's like, "Aunt Michelle, that's him, that's the perverted man." And And so my mom, and he's still, doing these mannerisms going on. And my mom was like, "Excuse me, she is a 12-year-old little girl. She's a child. Why are you looking at her like that?" And he was like, this is the craziest thing. He was like, "Bitch, I can look at whatever the fuck I want to look at, whenever the fuck I want to look at it. Ain't shit you gonna do about it." And we were all like, "What the like, where did you come out left field when you're the one being a pervert?" And so they got loud. Because my mom ain't going to take me and talk to like that. So they got loud. They're arguing. And he was like, "I wasn't looking at her. I wasn't looking at her like that. I was looking at her for her nephew, for my nephew." And we turn and look at his nephew. And his nephew is like 7. And we all were like, "What are you even talking about?" And his mother was standing right there next to him. And didn't say anything. Like, if you was my son, you wasn't I don't care if you are 40 years old. You ain't gonna embarrass me like that in the store. I would have whooped your ass. Like, no. I would have been all upside your head. I don't even have children, but I can't imagine letting them disrespect me, embarrass me, and all kinds of shit like that. You disrespecting women as a whole. You gonna sit up here and stare at a 12-year-old child in the store? And you're like, ugh, and your mother standing right there next. Like, I don't even know what, she must have been scared of him herself. I don't know, but he kept going on and on. They arguing back and forth. And they're so loud. My grandma took her jacket off and put it around my waist so that she took her jacket off and put it around my waist so that nobody else would look at my butt. And I know she wasn't doing it because there's something wrong with me. She's doing it because obviously she didn't want me to be feeling vulnerable, feeling violated. But it actually made me feel worse because what is wrong with me? I'm just a kid. And it went to the next level because they were so loud arguing and cursing back and forth at each other that the manager came over and he said, "What can I do for you? What is the problem? What's going on here?" And my mom's like, "He's a fucking pervert and he's staring at my daughter. She's 12 years old." And so everybody in the store at this point, like, nobody's getting rung up. Everybody's stopped. The whole Walmart has stopped. People are peeking around, where they were being checked out in other lanes. People are peeking around trying to see what child he was looking at, like whether or not I looked like a grown woman, which I was still fucking flat chested. Um, I just had a big butt. I ran a lot. I did a lot of, sports and stuff. So my butt was developed. What can I say? Like a Serena Williams booty, like a muscle booty. That's what it was. I didn't even have boobs. Like I wasn't even an A cup. I was like one of those half of an A people. They just barely butted out after I got my period. Seriously. Um, my other sister actually was a B cup at the time. She got boobs before I did. That's just to give you a picture of what I actually look like. Like, how perverted can you be? And the manager, looked and saw, and he was just like, "Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. You can't be causing a disturbance like this. That is a child. You're making everybody in here feel unsafe. There's other women in here with their children. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave." And he goes off because and it was just ridiculous. They had to call the cops on him. And my mom, at some point got fed up and was like, I'm calling my husband. I'm calling my husband, and let him come up here and kick your ass and all this other kind of stuff. And we got our stuff and we went. They basically started to, like, I don't know, from what I saw, they were like holding him for the police to come there because he was that fucking perverted. And other people in the store were like clenching their children, like how do you? Ugh, I just can't. The point is, from there on, I felt uncomfortable in my own skin. I felt like me being a woman put me in danger. I felt like my mom didn't really defend me. She did, but it became an ego thing. Instead of her being a person that's around me and trying to comfort me and reporting it or something like that. I don't know. I just felt like they were just so busy yelling, hollering back and forth that she didn't realize how much it embarrassed me and how humiliating it was. And I mean, it was fucking humiliating. Like, no 12-year-old child should have to put up with that shit. And I understand that there are, 12-year-olds that go through worse things than that. But it really affected me in the long run. I've never worn shorts. That's what I didn't say that. I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt just like any other kids in the 90s. I was wearing shorts. They weren't coochie cutters or anything. They were like mid-knee, normal shorts. I think they make shorts much shorter now. But I was wearing shorts, and that was the last pair of shorts that I put on for the rest of my life. I'm 30. So I've never put on another pair of shorts. I have never worn a bikini. I never wear anything that goes above my knees. And I will wear a tank top. I don't do cleavage a lot. I do wear V-neck, but I don't like things that are like V-neck, like way down there. I tend to do just exactly like you see. I mean, I'm wearing this because it's a long sleeve shirt under this so I can be warm. But I tend to just not show a whole lot of skin. Um, I am a modest person, but oftentimes I wonder, like, I mean, now that I'm doing this work, it's made me wonder, did I become this uber modest person, this uber conservative person, because that was my beliefs about how a woman should dress? Or did I become that way because somebody humiliated the fuck out of me when I'm just barely coming into womanhood? You know what I mean? And so, ew, I feel like I want to keep crying, but I'm not going to. Let's get through this video because I know I'm not the only one, and that's why I'm sharing it. Um, it really changed the way that I saw myself, and to make matters worse, to take it up to the next level, if that didn't affect me enough with feeling like I needed to be covered from head to toe all the time. Um, then the next factor came from my mother. Um, as I got, even older and filled out some more or whatever, then she felt it was necessary to tell me that dark skin is not beautiful. Um, she would always say, "You're too black. You're too dark." Now, mind you, I'm in between my mother and my father. My father's like southern black, like blue black as we call it down there. Um, in North Carolina heat, that's blue black. He's very dark. I'm in between the two of them. I'm dark, obviously. But I don't even understand why it's a big deal to black people. I really don't. Like, you're still black. Everybody's black. Like, my sister is very light skinned, real light skin. And the other one is, brown skin, like my mom's color, whatever. But it's just like my mom had to hone in on me for being dark skinned and telling me that I'm less than because I'm dark. And it really fucked my mind up. to the, it really did. It really did. Um, she would put bleach water and like announce to the world that she was putting bleach in my water, in my bath water, and that I shouldn't be this dark and all this other kind of stuff. Like, you reproduced with somebody that was darker than me. Like, what? That just, half the time it was just stupid. And I knew it was stupid, but it got under my skin. It did. It got under my skin eventually. And, this stuff feels like getting shit off your chest. It feels good. That's why I'm smiling. It's not funny. It's not that it's funny. It's just like this kind of joy to be able to speak the stuff that you hold inside, and you don't even realize you're holding it inside because it goes into the root chakra. You don't realize it that it's holding you back. You don't realize it's weighing you down because you have this false image. Don't take things personal. Back to the agreement. It's a false image that you created based on someone else's opinion. It doesn't belong to you. Whether or not my mother thinks that dark skin is beautiful, it doesn't have shit to do with me. It doesn't stop me from being beautiful. And I had to, come to terms with that during this work. And I had a cousin that was about the same situation. That her dad is really dark, and my mom and my aunt are the same color. She's dark just like me, and she was always using those bleaching creams and stuff like that. Now my aunt actually really, really, really loves dark skin, and she would tell her not to use the bleaching creams, that she was beautiful the way she was, but she compared herself to everybody that she saw around her, so she felt like she needed to use bleaching creams, and she would tell me to use them. And I didn't want to do that because I'm just like, bleach on my face. Like, these, you clean kitchens and toilets and stuff with that. Like, you know how strong bleach is to be putting it on your face. Like, but anyway, um, that and like, she would tell me, other than the bleach, she would tell me that dark skinned girls don't get married, that nobody likes them, nobody respects them. Um, all people do is have sex with us and leave. And if I'm lucky, somebody might give me a couple kids. If I do it the right way. And that nobody's going to marry me. Nobody ever is going to actually love me. Dark skinned women are not wives. So that good thing that I was smart. And I better work on getting a scholarship so that I can get a 4-year degree and make good money, because I pretty much was going to be stuck with her for the rest of my life. That's the shit that I heard. And it wasn't like she just said it one time. She said it a lot of times. Like, nobody likes you, too dark. Oh, you have a crush on somebody? Well, they probably don't like dark skinned girls, so I don't know what you like them for. Like, that was her response to everything. Everything was, you're dark, you're dark, you're dark. And thinking about it now, my mom is lighter than me, so what are you so obsessed with me being dark for? You know what I mean? Like, why? And that's why when I read that book, it just like slapped me in the face, because it really had nothing to do with me. And here I was taking these things personal. So as I got older, even though I would say I'm somebody with high standards, to the point that people might take me as being stuck up when I'm really not. I just knew what I deserved. I used to know what I deserved. And then when I got older and I actually got in a relationship with somebody that I felt was sincere and did care about me, and we moved into, the next level and stuff in our relationship outside of, where we got more serious. And I felt like this person, respected me enough, blah, blah, blah. When my mom found that out, she was like angry and jealous at the same time. Like, saying that it wasn't real and that he was going to cheat on me and he was going to leave me and and you're just going to get pregnant and get left with a child and be a single mother and then see who wants your stupid ass and, all kinds of, like, my mom was never nice. She was never nice. that ain't no surprise. I said that so much times in shadow work, but um, I said that a lot. She wasn't nice, but I realized that I started to internalize those things, and when he started to act up, I didn't immediately demand respect. When he started to do whatever he wanted to do, come in the house whenever he wanted to come in the house, I didn't say anything. And part of me is very passive. I don't like to fight. I don't like to argue, so I didn't say anything. But the other part of me is he going to leave if I say something to him? Do I need to be quiet because I'm a woman? Do I need to be quiet because I'm a dark-skinned woman? That was, my train of thinking, and it allowed for so much abuse from her, from my family, but it allowed me to allow men to abuse me as well, because my self-esteem was wrapped up in this idea that because I'm dark, this is all I deserve. This is, you get this piece of cake because you're light skinned or you're white or whatever, and I get this crumb over here because this is all you darkies are worth. That was basically how my mother treated me all the time. And I don't know, sometimes she didn't like necessarily say stuff about my skin color. It was just whatever she could get in at. Like she had to drill it in my head that I wasn't this and I wasn't that. But now that I'm older, like I just feel sorry for her. After doing these exercises and really getting into what's inside the roots of me, what's inside my foundation and my core and my personal beliefs, I feel sorry for it, because here she was, a grown ass woman, and you were belittling a child. You're making a child feel bad about themselves just because you feel bad about yourself. And I'm saying this not to make anybody who's watching the video to feel bad if you're doing that to your child and not thinking about what you're saying. You should always be cognizant of what you're saying, because it does get engraved into that child's psyche. It does change the way that they see the world. It changes the way that they see themselves. And so I'm saying this because I'm not the only one. I'm saying this story, things that are sitting inside of me that I didn't realize these are blockages. These are real spiritual blockages, because my mind, you only, law of attraction, you can only get what you can believe is yours. You can only get what you believe you deserve. And so I literally have become this person that has just enough because I believe that I deserve to survive. I deserve to have just enough and never exceed that. um I didn't even finish college because, number one, I was quiet and I didn't speak up for myself. When they kept turning me away at financial aid, even to the point of getting loans, I didn't even fight to get loans. I just walked away. Like I didn't want to look like I'm the aggressive, dark, black woman, you know what I mean? And in the financial aid office, like so many things in my life that I should have fought for, that I should have spoke up about, that I'm looking back now that I should have just said something, and I never said anything because I didn't want to be perceived in a way that I was. And I also felt like I needed to be super nice. I needed to be super Christian, and I needed to be super nice because that's what people like, right? That's what makes me more palatable to people. And now I'm just like, oh, what the fuck? I don't care what people think now. And it's funny because I always had this individuality that was me, but when it came to me actually opening up and showing my personality, it was a facade. You know what I mean? I was wearing this mask of this nice person. Once people actually sat down and have a conversation with me and say, "Oh, you're quiet," or, da 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 da. I like your clothes, or I like whatever you have on. I was very individual, very. I had an opinion about things, but I never shared it. I had, you know, obviously I'm weird. If you watch my channel, I'm a weird person. I'm not really like a lot of other people. I don't think along the same tracks, and I really don't care. Being an adult allowed me to be like, I really don't care, but still, as somebody with those things impressed upon me at a young age, all of these burdens that just really weren't mine, these ideologies and beliefs and stuff like that, they really weren't mine. You really have to question them. You got to question everything when it comes to the spiritual path. When it comes to a spiritual journey, question every motherfucking thing. Like I can't even express that enough. If you're not questioning, you're not growing. If you're not questioning, you're not digging for answers. Therefore you're not getting anywhere. It's just like you're walking in place. You're not going anywhere if you're not questioning why you practice a certain religion. If you're not questioning why you don't wear certain clothes, or why you don't go certain places, or why you don't have certain friends, and da 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 da. Like, you have to dig deep down into the roots and see what's there. And why is it there? Think about your actual purpose for coming to the planet, and whether or not those beliefs really align with it. And as for me, I discovered that shit doesn't line up with me. Christianity, being raised as a Christian kid and being pushed into it, compressed down to this little tiny ball inside of a little jar. I know it sounds funny, but it sounds stupid to say that analogy, but it's so true. It's all of these restrictions. And what am I restricting myself from? Am I some ball of fire? Am I that dangerous? Am I that quote unquote sinful? You know what I mean? Like, am I really bad? Was I born naturally bad? Like, where do we get this stupid ideology from? Like, I don't even know where people make that shit up from. But no, I wasn't like some people like go to church from the time that they're babies. And as for me, I was probably about 7 or 8. 7? I was 7. I was 7. I remember because I swallowed a quarter. And then that's the first time that my mom told me about Jesus, because she thought that I was going to die. And so that from there on, when I survived, I'm here. Um, but from there on, we started going to church, and all these things got pushed into my brain about the way you're supposed to act. And then secondly, the way you're supposed to act as a female. And the funny thing is, I don't know. I was probably more of a strict Christian on myself than anybody I knew, than anybody in my family and all of that kind of stuff, because I felt like I was less than, because somebody kept telling me I was less than. And so that's all I'm going to say as far as root chakra goes and self-esteem. And I encourage everybody, especially if you made it up to this end of this video. I know I talk too much, but it's relevant. It is relevant. And it's important. And I encourage everybody to dig down into the roots of yourself, dig down into your core beliefs. If you're not getting what you want out of life, if you're not able to manifest, if you're not able to see opportunity, question. Question yourself why. What is it that you really believe about what you deserve, and what it is that you want, and why you aren't getting it. Yeah, that's it. My soup should be done. Have a good night.